What's up, everybody? Jacob here, JK Productions. We got the conference finals starting today with the Western Conference first between the Lakers and Nuggets that you see on screen, and then tomorrow will be the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. And I'm pretty excited about both these matchups. Now, I didn't expect really any of these four teams to be here. If anybody, the only team maybe I would have selected was the Celtics, and that's actually probably what it would have been. But I've been very wrong up to this point. My NBA champion was the Suns, and I had it as Suns Bucks, and here we are. Here we are, a far reach from where that was. But with the conference finals starting today, I'm going to hit y'all with my predictions, starting off with the Nuggets and the Lakers. And the Lakers have definitely surprised me. Like halfway through the season, where they were standing. I mean, everybody knows how they started, 2-10 or something really stupid like that, and had like a .3 chance to be this far in the first place. But the moves they made at the trade deadline, really restructuring the team, bringing Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves. Not he wasn't brought in, but how he's been added to the rotation really has surprised me. And then how it's have played off in the playoffs against a young Grizzlies team. I did expect them to win, the Lakers to beat the Grizzlies, but I did not expect them to beat the Warriors, a team coming fresh off a championship and having so much offense theoretically on paper, which obviously didn't amount. I expected them to lose to the Warriors, but now they're here come against a Nuggets team, and a Nuggets team that every single year, I have a really hard time trusting the Nuggets because every single year it feels like the same old story. This is their second conference appearance with Nikola Jokic, Mike Malone, Jamal Murray. With this core that they have, this is their second conference appearance. The previous time, it being the bubble, this is the exact same conference finals we saw in the bubble back in 2020, and this is the Nuggets' second time being there. With the Nuggets having their offense revolve around a big man, usually in the playoffs, we've seen that come to fail in recent years. We've seen it with the Philadelphia 76ers. Their offense goes through Joel Embiid, and at times it's stagnant, at times it's slow. But the Nuggets have really found a way to eliminate that despite having arguably the slowest player in the league in Nikola Jokic. They have a very fluid offense, really flows really well, and they have a lot of great different options. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and a collection of players both starting and off the bench that this is the best Nuggets team we've seen so far. But I still have a hard time trusting the Nuggets, not even that being that they run through Jokic, just that every time we've seen them with the opportunity to prove themselves in the playoffs, they fall short. The Lakers, LeBron's been there. They've already won a finals with LeBron being a Laker, almost an entirely different team from that finals team. I say it's a better team. It's a younger team, they can shoot better than that team did. I said a better coach, Frank Vogel, going over to Ham now. I think this is overall better as Lakers team. And LeBron, even though he's older and compared to himself, he's gotten worse. If you look at his numbers, averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, he's still arguably the best player in the playoffs left. He's definitely the most experienced. He's definitely the greatest all-time player left in the playoffs. I still say he's the greatest player of all time. But you look at these two teams, and I do expect it to be a long series. And the Lakers are really teetering on the health of their two players. LeBron being an older player, Anthony Davis being a player that regularly gets beat up. If they can stay healthy, if those two players specifically can stay healthy and they can continue to find guys off the bench like Lonnie Walker to come in, I have the Lakers winning. I have the Lakers winning and moving on to the NBA Finals. And may I say, this is what I also want to happen. Either matchup, if it ends up being Lakers versus Heat, Lakers versus Celtics, I'm happy with. Get a rematch of the bubble, prove that the bubble wasn't a fluke, or Lakers Celtics. What all do I need to say about that to prove how awesome of a matchup that would be? Moving on to the Heat and the Celtics, and I got to be honest with you guys straight up before I start this. I am a little biased. The Heat are my favorite team. I might go to a game, either a game for the Heat, game for the Panthers. Love where South Florida sports is at right now. Absolutely amazing. Never expected the two teams to be 2 8 seeds compared to last year. They're 2 number 1 seeds, and both are here in the conference final. And a rematch from last year's conference final, and a rematch, like I just previously said with the Lakers and Nuggets series, a rematch from the bubble between these two teams. Two excellent series that has produced so many highlights. Bam's block in the bubble was really notorious, and last year, Jimmy Butler's three-point shot missing at the end would have sent the Heat to the finals, would have created the Heat and Warriors finals, which y'all saw my video yesterday. Talked about how the Heat and the Warriors, one of those two have represented in the NBA Finals for 11 out of the last 12 years, and yet they have never played each other. The Heat have the opportunity to continue that streak, move it to 12 in the last 13, 13 in the last 14, which one of it? 12 in the last 13 years of the two of them making it. And this is a Heat team that on paper should not be able to compete with all that the Celtics have. Jason Tatum, we saw the 51-point performance to close out versus 76ers. Jaylen Brown, 24 points, 25 points a game. But adding Malcolm Brogdon, six man of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Al Horford still getting it done at his high age. Robert Williams has had a little bit less of an impact this season than he did last year, but this is still a very deep roster, and both teams look very similar to how they were constructed last year, but the Heat are just doing it more. It's more of a surprise. And I will say for the Heat, I think the two teams they've come up against up to this point matched up very favorably for them with the Bucks and Giannis. You could throw Bam Adebayo on Giannis, and it really hampers his offensive attack. And when he would get to the free throw line, he was getting scared as the series went on. And then last round against the New York Knicks, they do not have the offensive capabilities to keep up with the Heat, even though the Heat's offense is not really that outstanding in the first place. Really only relying on your point guard, Jalen Brunson. Everybody else was unreliable. So on paper, the Heat should not be able to keep up in this series. And I do believe it's going to go probably another 7-game series. This series really hangs on Jason Tatum in whether he is consistent. We've seen the 51-point performance from Jason Tatum, but not too long before that, we saw him only convert one field goal through the first 3.5 quarters. Now, the last 6 minutes of that game against Philadelphia where he closed it out, and he had, I think, 16 points. That is the Jason Tatum we then saw continue over into Game 7. But previously, he was missing. He was very cold, and that is something we've seen a lot with Jason Tatum. We saw it last year in the NBA Finals where he wasn't a player that the Celtics could rely on. He's still 24 years old. He has a lot of room to grow. We see with a lot of NBA stars, LeBron, how long did it take for him to win his first ring? Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, so many of these all-time greats at 24 years old, they are not in a place where they can have a consistent game night in, night out. Jason Tatum's consistency is the biggest factor going into this series. That being said, with how the Celtics closed out in Game 7, with Jason Tatum continuing to get this experience over and over and over again, I believe that the consistency is going to start to come. So, as much as it pains me to say, I do believe it is going to be the Celtics winning that. I believe it's going to be a similar 7-game series. That's going to produce an NBA Finals of the Los Angeles Lakers and Boston Celtics, two historic teams that it's been a while since Kobe was going against Paul Pierce and their big three there. It's been a while since we've had that Finals, but the two most historic teams in the league battling out for the NBA Finals, I have a hard time complaining about that. Let me know what your NBA Finals predictions are down below in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe. Let me know who you got for Game 1 tonight for the Lakers and the Nuggets. Appreciate y'all very much watching. This is Jacob, JK Productions. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.